In a series of 3 episodes, Gwyn and I take the newly built Troopy camper north to Australia's furthest western shores and the World Heritage Site of Shark Bay, where we endure some storms, test out our new electric cooking system. Gwyn tries to brush her hair. I don't get even slightly lost.
This is not very interesting because I'm lost. Oh, this is gripping stuff.
And, surprise, surprise, see some sharks. You find us late afternoon at a public rest stop.
We're camping first night on our trip up the west coast, and we're just pulled over, and we're going to make some supper,
And who are all of these people in our room?
right. Yeah, no, we're at this public camping area off the side of the road.
And these are?
Grey nomads, like us, pretty much. All old farts together.
Not a grey on the head. Not one tiniest little, not a speck.
You make up for it, darling.
I'm St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building 4-wheel drive trucks and travelling to the remotest parts of the world. These videos are made possible by contributions from Patreons. Join the Patreon family now.
Thinking, culinary thoughts.
About 4.5 hours drive today. Easy traffic, lots of, it is Anzac Day today. Lots of holiday traffic returning home to Perth. So the roads were busy, but most of the traffic was in the opposite direction. And what you're seeing here is very typical. For those of you who don't know, I never know how much to present for our overseas visitors to the channel and Australians. Well, whatever. Grey nomads.
People don't know.
Grey nomads. People with greying hair, that age, retired normally, driving in 4-wheel drives or camper vans, towing very large caravans and doing the lap, the honorary lap of Australia. They drive all the way around.
Take a year or so.
And at any one time, there are estimated to be approximately, last time I read, and that was some years ago, 120,000 people at any one time doing a lap of Australia. It's probably gone up now with COVID and everything. It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 200 plus, and you see a lot of these camper vans and caravans on the road in remotish areas, but not the really remote areas. They generally stick to the asphalt. But not exclusively. I've seen a few brave souls on some of the more remote trips. But something like this, it's free camping. Set up a camp wherever you like and just get comfortable for the night. And it's the month of April.
So the flies are still very bad.
The flies are still very, very bad. The flies will be around and this bad probably till the end of May. By June, the flies need is one really cold spell. It kills them, and then they stay dead, and then they all wake up again in about November.
They all seem to resurrect.
In November, they all wake up.
Because you would think the buggers, if they've all died, there'd be none to breed, but no, it doesn't. They just resurrect those old dead ones, and they come back.
Yeah, it's quite good, actually. It's quite clever.
It's quite clever. Well, as soon as the sun goes down, the flies will go.
Yes.
And then we'll have some supper.
Yes. I'm going to turn off the camera now, it's boring.
I can't help it that you're boring. You're supposed to retaliate.
Hear that? That's, well, the jennies they've all started up, their jennies. It's okay. One night's camp. If I'm in a lonely, remote place and I hear that in the evening, my skin changes colour.
You go grey.
I go red.
I found what I was looking for. The best thing in the world to have with curried mince, which is what we're having tonight.
Yes.
Curried mince and rice.
South African Mrs.
Ball's chutney.
So, in response to that wisecrack she made earlier about my grey hair, she goes now walking off to the... She's coming back. She goes walking off to drop something in the dustbin, and she farts. She sounds like a hippo that's not in this river here. The road has been bad this morning, hasn't it?
Corrugations. Yeah.
What you doing?
Driving along around Shark Bay, and there are points where you can see that the tide comes in quite far, and we spotted this area, and it seems wholly disconnected with anything oceanic, but it's here, so we've decided to come and do a tongue tip test to see if it's salty. So, is this tidal? Is the question. There's a shell, that's a clue.
It looks tidal to me, doesn't it? It does.
Definitely looks tidal.
But if it's salty, it doesn't mean it's from the sea. If it's salty, because
I've just swallowed part of the Indian Ocean.
that is really salty.
That is definitely tidal.
These are salt flats. Just because it's got salt in doesn't mean it's tidal.
That's seawater. Taste it.
No, it's not linked to the sea.
I know.
It's a puddle in a salt flat, which means we haven't solved the problem.
No, we haven't.
We haven't answered the question. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
So the Troopy is full weight, full fuel, full water, gravel road. It is sitting down at the back. And now I'm pretty sure I need to upgrade the springs a bit at the back, but actually the ride is really good, very, very good. But I think I can get it better with some higher load-rated rear springs. It's from this point that one has to pay. It's not a lot of money to enter the area, but actually you need to book campsites. We've booked 2 nights, 1 campsite, and then 3 nights on a place called Dirk Hartog Island, which I've been here before in 2018. Gwyn's never been here before, but Dirk Hartog Island is a feature of the area that I missed when I came here in 2018. So that's why I'm back.
Do we have a name for this kind of driving? What is it?
I thought you were going to say driving over rocks.
That's the one. Driving over rocks. Not really.
Not really.
It's a bit rocky, but it's not exactly.
Your thing about driving over rocks is driving over rocks for no real purpose apart from driving over rocks.
Yeah.
Here we're actually going somewhere different.
I believe Australia has the dubious honour of having the worst corrugations in the world. So I've been told.
Certainly, well, it's the worst I've ever encountered are in Australia. A couple of them about 10 minutes back, actually.
Rattle one's fillings out.
Yeah, and knowing that the vehicle is undersprung at the back, I could feel it. I could feel it. Right. We're looking for campsites, false entrance campsites. I assume they're here. I haven't seen a sign saying false entrance campsites.
We have almost arrived at our first campsite. We're visiting Shark Bay on the westernmost part of the Australian mainland.
I've no idea where I am or where I'm going or what's going on. Absolutely no idea at all.
And that unfamiliar beach with unknown tides is not somewhere I want to drive on my own.
So where have you brought us?
Well, I booked at false entrance campsite number 2. And this is false entrance beach, no other signposts anywhere. I have no idea, not a clue. And there's nothing on the map. Nothing on the map at all.
Time to dig out the paperwork.
Paperwork is not going to tell us anything apart from the fact that you have it booked at the campsite. We have no way of finding out where the campsite is. I relied on the GPS and the GPS does not show it clearly.
While carefully turning around on the beach, somebody arrived and offered their help.
So some chaps pulled up behind us and they obviously know their way around here and came up and said, yeah, you're going the wrong way. So they were very helpful. They're in front of us now, turning around.
We're going to go back past the sites.
Okay.
Because we were going to go that way to have a fish, but we can't.
Okay.
So we'll go past the sites and we'll just point to you where the camps are and you can do your thing from there.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. The eternal problem when camping is finding a flat spot. So we're digging a hole to drop the wheel in the rain. We've got the awning up and we'll see how this goes. Now he's going to get out his mental spirit level. The mental spirit level has spoken.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. We've got the wind coming from this way, so we're shielded from the wind this side.
The mental spirit level has spoken.
What are you mumbling on about now? I'll get it. I don't know. What are you mumbling on about?
You're a mental spirit level. Every time in the comments when we do this, people say, why don't you just have a spirit level?
Because that is just so boring. I mean, why not use Mark 1 eyeballs? Then I don't have to go looking in the car for... I carry these with me almost everywhere.
Almost.
Occasionally when I'm sleeping, I don't have them with me. Well, I don't know that I've got them with me, but
You put them on the bedside table.
put them on the bedside table and then knock them off in the middle of the night, and then in the morning can't see a thing. And I don't need reading glasses to see if something's level. That. Where am I going to put this? It's just going to get wet. So this is our kitchen.
Don't you just love camping in the rain?
I love it. Can't wait. You've nothing to say for yourself.
I'm eating nuts.
Actually turned out to be quite a nice campsite. The thing is, without local knowledge, I take a bit of a guess, a bit of a gamble when booking the campsite. There are 4 here. Only one was available, so I just took the one that was available. And it's really not bad. We've got this whole area to ourselves. There's the bay there, and we're going to spend 2 nights here. Doing what? I don't know. I do have some fishing gear with me, but don't feel like fishing at the moment. Let's bring back memories.
Like it was yesterday. We were in the Kalahari with John and Sue and all the kids.
Right, we're going to Matsatling Pan. I've got a GPS coordinate where we can find the cut line.
I think Steve Searle was there as well with Kathy. There were a whole lot of us, and we went to the Kalahari and we miscalculated the water. And we were running a little bit low on water. We had a lot of kids, and you know, kids are very water intensive. And we were getting a little bit panicky actually about what we were going to do about the water. And then the heavens opened and it bucketed down. And we were all there trying to catch this water with jugs and containers and buckets and all off the awning, and oh, it was fantastic.
You remember little Kate with her little bottle,
Yes.
running around with her little bottle,
catching,
and she puts
catching.
about 12 drops in the in the bucket. That was so sweet.
Oh, it was good.
Well done, my girl.
Good times.
Good time.
And because we've just arrived and have got full tanks,
These awnings, and none of them are good in rain. They're all highly compromised. But actually, we're dry. We're completely dry. And it took, 10 seconds to erect. So actually, they actually do quite well.
given that any change in the weather seems unlikely, I think I will tie down all of the arms on the awning. But I'll leave it up for tonight.
Right, miss, what happened?
So the wind turned, and instead of our awning being in the lee side of the wind, it was suddenly in the teeth of the wind. And it felt like the car was trying to levitate as the wind hooked under the awning. So, pelting with rain, furious gale. It was like being on a boat in the middle of the ocean. It was honestly what it was like. We rushed downstairs and we put the awning away. I was hanging on to one of the beams and Andrew was trying to loosen it at the other end, and the wind was howling and covering us with sand, and it was raining, and yeah, so that's the adventure for the night. Now I'm ready for sleep.
The thing is that the awning had collected a lot of water. So the most important thing about an awning when you're putting it away in windy conditions is that strap that pulls it tight is giving it 80% of its strength. Now, but you've got to release that. So I've got Gwyn hanging on to the pole, I'm hanging on to the pole, and now it's so tight that I can't undo it. Thank goodness I remembered where I'd put my Leatherman, because I needed to free it with a Leatherman. And of course, as we both closed it and wrapped it closed, there was a little lull in the wind, fantastic, but all of the bits of awning had collected water, which was dumped straight on top of us. The good part about that is it drained a little bit of the sand that had already got into our hair and things. I know this doesn't sound nearly as dramatic as it was, but it was dramatic. We saved the awning, because as I first got out, a gust hit. The second gust, the first one woke us up. The second one, the gust hit, and I could see the whole mechanism bending, starting to twist. We nearly lost the awning, because all of the 4 straps that I'd put in, they were all completely loose. We got lucky. Should we try and sleep now?
Yeah. With that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I need to watch The Shining to calm down.
So, more nighttime hijinks. The wind is just so loud now that it's turned around. So Andrew's gone to... He's basically going to move the car around, and so that we're facing the other way, so the wind isn't hitting the back of the tent. Because honestly, it's like being on a storm-tossed sea in a dinghy. That's what it's like at the moment. Yeah, it's quite a heroic effort he's putting in, because he's got to move stuff, and there we go, engine starting. And he's such a gentleman. I offered to help, and he said, no, stay warm and cozy in bed. So that's what I'm doing while he moves the car around. We won't be worrying about whether the car is level, I can assure you. Here we go, we're turning we're turning. And let's see if we can feel an appreciable drop in the wind or if this is all for naught. Seem to be just going forever.
How level is that?
How level is that?
Level.
Yeah, that looks level. And that's where my theory about not leveling the car falls to the ground. I've got to admit, it does seem to have made a difference with the wind. Or maybe that's just me with some old-fashioned wishful thinking.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's better.
It doesn't look level to me. It looks very much down at the back.
It feels fine. This is not the time to be worrying about whether the blood's going to rush to our heads. It's freezing cold out there. The wind is howling. It's pouring with rain.
Down at the back.
And it's down at the back.
It is down at the back by quite a long way. Oh, there you are. Hello. It is down at the back. Do you think we'll be okay?
I'm sure if the blood rushes to our heads, we'll be fine.
Okay. We might have to sleep with our heads that way because it's sitting up like this by quite a lot. But it's all the same. If we want to, it is what it is. Alrighty.
Well, we wish you a good night. We hope that we're going to have one too. So after last night's hijinks with the wind, we brought half the beach into the car. So Andrew's being
Half the beach. Half the beach. I must have told you 1,000,000 times not to exaggerate.
Yes. So anyway, Andrew's being a good boy and he's doing his chores while I stay in bed.
Would you like tea?
I'd love a cup of tea.
Yeah, I thought you would. I will go and make tea.
I've got him so well trained.
Around the camp you have, actually. At home, not so much.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
Did you bring the vacuum cleaner?
The Dyson.
The Dyson.
No, doll. I left the vacuum cleaner at home.
At home. Yes, it did at home. Okay, well then I'll just have to use a good old-fashioned brush.
So, yeah,
Pretty pointless, really, because in
camping.
an hour's time it's going to be full of sand again, but that's okay.
Something to pack when you're going camping.
What?
A
brush.
brush.
Oh, yeah, no question
You've
about
gotta have
that.
a brush.
And a Dyson.
A Dyson would be good.